Hi guys, Penny Lulu here.
Hey, John Frederick.
And this is the Barefoot Director. And today, by telephone, right here, we have Reese Ravencraft, who was our lead actress in Shh. But she also has done a few other things since then. We were her second film, I believe, and then she has started doing some more things, and she's just started working on a new film called The Cure Game that they just dropped a trailer for, and she's here to talk with us virtually through the phone. Hi, Reese.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Doing good. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hi, Dawn. It's so nice to hear from you again.
Well, tell us a little bit about The Cure Game. I guess for starters, tell us a little bit about what The Cure Game is about that you can tell us about, and how you wound up getting the part.
You know what's really funny? Initially, it was like, oh, yeah, we're going to shut everything down for 14 days. And then it was like, okay, well, we're going to add another 15 days or so. And I feel like this is our world now, and it's never, ever going to stop. And when Yao Adjapong wrote this, it was at the very beginning. And he wrote it 10 years in the future.
Okay.
And nothing changed. And this is what happens when the illness goes unchecked and lawlessness happens, and everybody's sick and it mutates, and there's no cure, there's no anything. And I was like, wow, that's really kind of prophetic. He was kind of looking into the future there. But that's what it's about. And there's my character is a scientist, and she's desperately trying to find a cure for multiple reasons. And I think that's all I can say. She's a wife and a mother. And, 10 years into the future.
Well, and I know when the trailer dropped, I did get to see part of a Q&A that y'all was doing on YouTube. I didn't get to see all of it, but I got to see part of it. And so in there, I know that the part y'all have shot so far was actually only about a third of the movie, and it's the middle third?
Yes, it's basically the middle of the actual story.
Okay. And it was shot in New York, wasn't it?
It was. And the rest is going to be shot in LA somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how the other 2/3 are going to look, but that middle third looks very action-packed.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. The next one I really need to get in way better shape for before we start filming.
Reese, I have a question for you. How did you hear about this casting? Was it on a website, or did someone contact you?
What's really funny is it was on Backstage.
Okay,
and before the world shut down, I had several things on Backstage that I was in like the second or third round of auditions for, or things that I had already signed on to do. And I had things going. And then when COVID kind of shut down everything stopped.
Yeah.
And either projects that I had lined up were canceled, or they moved to tape it at home and it didn't have the equipment they wanted. So I really just kind of got depressed about it and was sitting on literally, I was a Barco lounger for my dog. I didn't move. My dog was in my lap, and that was my life. And I was like, okay, no, this is not good. I need to be proactive. So I started digging around Backstage. And I saw this poster for The Cure Game, and I thought, wow, this looks like a really cool story idea. And that poster looked beautiful. And I thought, okay, this looks really, really cool. And I read the blurb for it, and it looked smart, And then, how sometimes on the bottom, directors put specific directions, and when they do that, they're serious and they know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
He had very specified directions that he wanted, and then he had sides for the characters if you wanted to go ahead and submit a self-taped audition.
Yep.
And when I pulled up the sides, they were so good. And I was just like, yeah, this is cool. So I went ahead and I did the self-taped audition. I memorized the sides, did all that, and sent it in. And honestly, I kind of wrote it off the minute I sent it out. Because, why would this guy from New York, who is surrounded, because he's from Brooklyn, I mean, he's surrounded by some of the world's best talent. Why would he cast some cat from Texas? Why would he do that? And I thought, it's cool. I'm just practicing my self-taped audition skills. And the day of my cousin's wedding, I start getting emails from him. And he's like, so can you be in New York on these days? And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no. He just wants me to be like an extra or something. I'm not going to New York to be an extra. So I emailed him back and I'm like, is this for Jen? Because that's who I put in for. And he's like, yeah, this is for Jen. That's who you put in for. And then, it hit me and I was like, oh my God.
Wow. And so he flew you out to New York, or did you go on your own dime, or?
I flew myself, but Adjipong Films paid for everything else. They put us up in suites in a hotel in Binghamton, New York.
Okay.
And we went back and forth from Binghamton to Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were all over the place. And the scenes, especially that really cool drone scene that you see in the trailer of like all the trees and the mist and all that, that was in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And the scene in the truck and all that was in actual Binghamton, and we shot on the street. We shut down an entire street in New York and shot there, which was so much fun. So much fun. And
it looked like a lot of outdoor scenes in this movie. How was the temperature and the weather while you guys were shooting up there?
It's funny. It was warm. It wasn't as warm as here, and it wasn't as humid as here. But when we weren't rehearsing, we were in masks, so it kind of felt like you were breathing through like a soggy hose or something. So that part was, hot.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of running.
Mm-hmm.
And no sleeping. And it's funny because I was making fun of them. They were like, oh, yeah, it's so hot. And I was like, ha, you northerners, you don't know what hot is.
Yeah.
And the next day I dropped on set because of heat stroke.
Oh, no.
Really?
I'm like, I need to learn to shut my mouth, don't I?
Karma.
But like the house that we were filming at, you can't really tell in any of the footage. That beautiful yard is so steep. It's so steep. And I was running up and down this hill. And Yao kept going faster. I'm like, okay. It was so steep. And by the end, I'm just kind of like clawing my way back up this hill, kind of willy-nilly, like a drunk coming home at 4 a.m. I mean, it was rough. And I got a little too warm.
Well, listen, Reese,
Mama needs to get in better shape for the next shoot. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a look at the trailer real quick and just let everybody kind of see kind of what you're talking about, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back from the trailer, okay?
Okay.
All right, stand by. Let's take a look.
You have any rounds left?
Oh, I don't know.
Look, either you do or you don't.
I don't know, Brian. How many people do you expect me to shoot?
All right, I'm sorry. Get back!
No.
Get the back! Get back!
Do you need to leave now?
Yeah, the infected get closer to us every day. I know you're scared, and you have every right to be. Sophie, you gotta trust me. We're gonna get that vaccine to your father in time. In the meantime, we gotta protect Charlie.
So, do I have to kill your husband first? Or can we make this an easy and clean transaction?
What do you want?
I always wanted me a daughter.
You ready, babe?
Okay, we're back from the trailer. This movie looks great. I mean, it looks like it's going to be really, really awesome. And again, congratulations to you for your part And
Thanks.
it looks like a lot of fun. So let's talk about a few things in the trailer. Tell me a little bit about some of your the other cast members who you had to work pretty close with. Tell us a little bit about them.
Oh my gosh. Let me see. The guy that played my husband, his name is Adam Hawley, and he has a theater background as well. So we met on our initial rehearsals were all on Zoom, and we immediately clicked. Just boom. And it's so funny because we were doing things, and we're thousands of miles away. He's actually from New York, and there were specific parts in the script where I was looking down, and he caught what I was doing, and he'd go, "No, look at me," and it wasn't scripted. And he would just say stuff, and then I would look up, and Yao would freak out. He'd be like, "Oh, put it in the script. Put it in the script. I love it."
Nice.
But any kind of like cue or something, I would catch him do, or he would catch me do. We would just kind of like sink into each other and just do it. So we just meshed really, really well, and he's just the nicest man. And we both had very similar processes. So as we were working together, we just worked so well together. And it was awesome.
Let me ask you this. I noticed in one part, there's one of your co-stars, and I'm not sure what his role is, but he kind of looks like maybe the bad guy or maybe the antagonist of the film, but he kneels down by a kid in a bed and he's clicking his fingers together. Tell me about this character.
This actor, I loved him so much. He was the nicest man. Again, like all the bad guys were the nicest men. They were the nicest men. That was Troy Roberts. He took this character, and I think a lesser actor could have taken the material and just have made him just like some bland, like whatever bad guy. But Troy is so freaking talented that he made this character so dynamic. And the little girl, I could talk for hours how talented this kid is.
Now that's
She's
the
9
one.
years old.
She played your daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This kid's gonna be more famous than anybody. Like she is amazing, and she's more professional than adults I've worked with.
Oh, wow.
I love this kid, and her mother was amazing. And honestly, it's so funny because even if we were talking behind people's backs on this set, there was nothing bad to be said about anybody. So everything we were saying behind people's backs were, "Oh my God, so-and-so is just gifted. So-and-so is amazing. Oh, I love so-and-so," because there just wasn't anything bad to be said about anybody.
That's a good set.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't you know they were saying that about Reese too? Because we know
absolutely.
how talented you are.
Oh, you can just tell,
thank you.
just from the trailer, you can tell that she is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Now, you said y'all did your rehearsals over Zoom. What other type of things did y'all have to do? Because of COVID, you have to do things different. So what are the different types of COVID precautions you took? And how long did y'all do those Zoom rehearsals before you actually shot?
There were a million things about working with Yao that I loved. I freaking loved him. Oh my God, I loved him. But one of the things that I appreciated so much was that he's all about rehearsal. So that when you start rolling, you're there, you know what he wants, you know where you are, you know what's needed. You don't have that breakdown between your brain and your lines and your body and all these new props. Like you're there, you've got it, you're good. So we had the Zoom rehearsals, and then when we got there, we had, I think it was 2 days of rehearsal. Just rehearsal. And so we knew just what he wanted, and there was no reason to be worried, and there was no reason to be nervous or whatever, because we knew what he needed from us. And we knew where we were going to be sitting and all that, and, you know, we had it rehearsed, so we knew what was going to be expected of us.
Yeah.
It made the final product so much easier to get because we were where we needed to be when we got started with the actual filming.
Yeah.
And B, I feel like it streamlined everything when we actually started shooting.
Right, because you already knew where your marks were and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as COVID, we all had to be tested and turn in paperwork within, I think it was like a 72-hour window before we left to make sure that we were all clean. And then when we got there, we all had to wear masks unless we were in makeup and working. And other than that, we had to have masks on. So, like, if you were a crew or whatever, you were in a mask. And they weren't playing. They weren't doing that thing where you have your mask on your chin or whatever. They were all wearing their masks. So everybody was looking out for everybody else.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, nobody has gotten sick because everybody was just very mindful. And when we walked in to the house that we used for the set, Angela, she had like this tray of hand sanitizers just lined up. And she was offering them to everybody as we walked in, like, make sure you use them, make sure you use them, make sure you use them. And we had big bottles of hand sanitizers just set up everywhere.
Nice.
So it was very safety oriented on that set.
Well, and I know y'all have only shot a third of it. Part of it y'all shooting in the spring, I believe.
We're not absolutely certain. I think we're looking at May or June.
Okay. And so, does he have like a estimated release date that he's shooting for, or
we're hoping for the end of 2021?
Okay.
Or like fall of 2021.
Fall 2021 to be the release date? Okay.
But I mean, this man, we shot at the end of August. He's already released a trailer.
I know, that was crazy.
He won't sleep. Like, seriously, he didn't sleep. He just went, and he calls it his lab. He just went in there, and he just went, and he got to work, and he just didn't bother to sleep, and he just got it done.
We like him already.
Yeah. He's so hyper-focused, which is another thing, and so organized. Oh, my God, this man is like my spirit human. I mean, just hyper-focused, super organized, and super creative. So there are others that exist, Penny. It's not just me. She always makes fun of me because I'm organized.
Well, I'm not making fun of you. It's a great attribute to have. It's just one I don't have, and I struggle with all the time. And most creatives do struggle with that. And so you're a rare breed is what you are. So I don't make fun of you. I admire it, and I wished I had it.
Well, he's very similar to me because he was super organized and just like had all his little duckies in a row and just... Yeah, and then he got the material and just refused to sleep and just got it done. And then I know when we were shooting, we would go back and he would stay up.
Wow.
And there was, the house we were filming in was an hour away from the hotel they had us staying at, and we didn't have to do anything while we were there. Like, they had people picking us up from the hotel and taking us to the place we were shooting.
Yeah.
And so one day it was him and one of the executive producers, Devin, who also ridiculously nice man, wonderful man. So it was he and Yao that picked us up. And Yao was driving initially, and I think he hadn't bothered to sleep at all because they had to pull over and Devin had to drive because he just worked all night.
Wow.
Mm.
And he always says, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
And what hats does he wear in this film?
Yao wrote it and directed it.
Writer and director, gotcha.
And the writing is good.
Oh yeah, I would imagine this is his baby.
Yes, and his last feature film, Birth of Deceit, the man has award nominations falling out of his ears, they're falling out of his nose. I mean, just like nominations out the wazoo.
Wow.
For Birth of Deceit. So I can only imagine how good this one's going to be because every time he does something, he learns and he gets better.
Yeah, well, like I said, based on the trailer, we can tell it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be a winner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know one thing you had different, when you do a big production for the big companies and all, you're under all these super tight NDAs and you can't say a word, whereas with you, part of social media and promoting was actually part of your contract, wasn't it?
It was, yes. I mean, there were specific things that I was like, no.
Yeah.
But, like, some of that stuff is really common sense. Like,
Right.
Don't take pictures of pivotal things in the script and blast them on social media.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't tell any secrets from the script? Like, don't give away important stuff, like stuff like that. But yeah, he wants us blasting information out. Like, come see this. It's gonna, like, be interested in this because it's really going to be good.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, now, when he does release it, do you know how he plans on releasing it? Is it going to go through the festival circuit first? Is it going to a theater release, video on demand? Do you know that yet?
I am not certain on that, but I think it's going to be sold or put either in theaters or on some kind of platform.
Or like sold to Netflix or something like that. Okay. Well, maybe Yao will see this and will answer that for us in the comments.
He very well might. It's too bad he's not, like, here to weigh in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can later do a telephone interview with him.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that would be a good idea. He'd probably love that.
How would y'all like that?
He loves talking about his baby.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Oh, for sure.
Well, I think you've given us a lot of information. I think people are going to be interested in that this is a Southeast Texas actress that's maybe filming elsewhere, but it's still bringing filming to our part of our little neck of the woods, which is kind of what we're about, is trying to promote that area and all. And so thank you, Reese, and we wish you all the best with this. Break a leg. I know that's more theater than movies, but hey, you are theaters where you came from.
Yes.
And so we're just enjoying watching your star rise.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
So, and hopefully our stars will rise too one day along with you. Maybe we'll even get to meet Yao one day. Maybe he'll come down here for something one day. But,
yeah, we keep laughing. The little girl, Ava, and her mother, they're out of Houston.
Oh, okay.
And we keep saying, we really need to tell him he should film in Texas because it's so much cheaper.
Yes.
So maybe we can get him here to film.
Well, or at least a premiere. He could at least do a premiere in Houston.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I wish he would, because we have less rules here than in LA.
Hey, I tell you what, if he does, the Barefoot Director will show up for the premiere, and we will do a show or something from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love that.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be.
Okay. Well, thank you, Reese. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in with us again. I'm Penny Lulu.
John Frederick signing off.
And this is the Barefoot Director. Thanks, guys.